Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, GundamReviews.net, and thanks to everybody who played and participated in the Gundam games. It was a knockout tournament where you, the viewers of gundam.tk, helped decide your favorite or the best Gundam series, movie, or OVA, and congratulations are in order to Gundam 00, which knocked off Zeta Gundam in the final. However, the cool part about uploading videos is you get to see where your viewers come from, or at least the ones that reveal it on YouTube. And anyway, it's interesting to see lots of people viewed the videos from Japan, but no comments there. But anyway, thanks to Gundam Ace, we have a pretty good idea of who Japan's favorite, never mind a pretty good idea, the definitive idea of what the best Gundam series are in terms of the Japanese voters' minds. So let's take a look and see how they compare. And that's because every month on the bookshelves you can pick up Gundam Ace in addition to the hobby magazines. Lots of great manga in there. They've also got news and some cool monthly features, and one of my favorites has to be Everybody's Gundam Ranking, where the regular feature is they have favorite male character, favorite female character, and favorite mobile suit, and the rankings change monthly. It's always fun to keep an eye on that. This is issue 111, and even though the surveys have sort of taken on a less prominent role recently, as of issue 100 they ran their biggest one, where they asked the question, what is your most liked Gundam series? And the way it works is that in the back of this issue, they've got a postcard, and you can fill that out, and you can vote for things like that. Which series do you like? And you can answer all the questions. What they did is they allowed people to vote for 3. So if the number 1 has 25,000, well, that also means that each one of those voters also got to distribute 2 other votes. Keeping that in mind, they had 20 series, so let's take a look bottom to top in terms of Japan's favorite Gundam series. Now, the Gundam games that I ran had 18 series in it. This ranks the top 20. Gundam Age wasn't out when issue 100 was out for this. But anyway, number 20, 19, and 18 on the Japanese rankings were not included in our games. So let's get those out of the way. And it should be noted that for 11 to 20, they don't give the actual number of votes. But number 20, obviously the least. And what was it? Well, it wasn't animated at all, but it's Hathaway's Flash, the novel series, star of Cassie and the Penelope. Very cool mobile suit designs. In number 20, number 19 brings in SD Gundam Sangokuden Brave Battle Warriors, which is fairly popular on shelves, at least with kids, but certainly not up there compared to the more adult series to follow. Number 18 goes to Mobile Suit Igloo, which is Gundam's foray into computer graphics, at least in terms of animation. Not a recognizable lead or protagonist for that series, which may account for it being so low on the list. Number 17, surprisingly low in some people's eyes, but it's Turn A Gundam, with the lead, the Turn A itself actually designed by an American. It certainly did not hit off with Japanese audiences in terms of viewers on TV, nor in terms of plastic model sales. It has probably the least models of all the series out there. Anyway, people tend to really like it for its depth of storytelling, which is why it's surprising to see it that low, but certainly not big in Japan. And at number 16, it seems like neither was F91, which was supposed to be a series, ended up being chopped up into a movie, and it's a pretty choppy one at that. Some pretty cool characters that went on to have a second life in Crossbone Gundam, but F91, in terms of a movie and theatrical release and all that, still only number 16 on this list. Coming in at number 15, and very low down compared to where it fared in the Gundam games, is 0080 War in the Pocket, which went all the way to the semifinals in the Gundam games, in the top 4, you could say. However, here it's number 15, and perhaps it's a very untraditional look compared to the Gundam's protagonist. Zeon certainly getting a different look, which you'd think would make it a little more popular. However, the Alex was certainly not the good guy, and Alan Barney certainly took a different take from your classic protagonist role. Number 14 is in fact an anime, despite what the theme song is going to tell you. Gundam Double Zeta comes in there at number 14, and despite the fact that First and Zeta seem to have a lot more popularity, First perhaps a little bit more in hindsight, Double Zeta never really caught on. You wonder how much those early episodes hurt it. However, it certainly has got a big role in terms of being part of the big 3 original series, but the fact that it's down on the pretty low towards the bottom of the list certainly means that it's not going to stack up with some of the AC series. And in number 13, speaking of AC, it's an alternate take on First Gundam. What would have happened if Amuro and Char had grown up? Well, anyway, they would have become Jamil, apparently. But you've got Gundam X, which was also cut short. It never finished its full episode run. It's very similar to First Gundam. Thankfully, they were able to wrap it up, and those last 3 episodes they did a pretty good job of getting that last quarter in there. Anyway, the X and the DX certainly haven't seen a lot of model love, and they don't seem to have a lot of love in terms of series fans in Japan. Number 12 also shows that recency is not necessarily going to be that strong, although you'll see some more recent series up at the top, but it's Gundam Seed Destiny coming in at number 12. Seed was very popular in Japan according to this list. Seed Destiny, not so much. Blame it of whatever you want, Strike Freedom Destiny Shin Kira. Anyway, it just didn't seem to catch on with Japanese fans, although it certainly seemed to do a good job selling a lot of plastic models with the MS designs, but it comes in safely at number 12. And in number 11, Kill 'Em All Tomino had his V Gundam up there, which wrapped up sort of Universal Century's dominance in the Gundam universe there. It didn't seem to do that well, which is why they took an alternate take with the Another Centuries there, starting with G, but V Gundam comes in at number 11, certainly a high casualty rate, but certainly fun to go back and watch. It is very early 90s, but it's certainly an interesting continuation, although I'd love to see a little bit more fill-in there to connect it to the main body that we've seen at the beginning of the Universal Century. Well, I'm going to wrap up this part of the list before moving on to the top one, so don't forget to stick around for that. And anyway, why don't you let me know what you think? It's sort of not surprising that we got Hathaway's Flash. Perhaps it's surprising that a novel got on that list in the first place. But when you see things like Brave Battle Warriors and Igloo at the bottom, anyway, they played no factor in the Gundam games, and it looks like they played no factor in the Japanese voters' minds anyway. But there's going to be some vote totals to come up, which is sort of interesting to look at. Anyway, stick around and let me know what you think of the bottom of the list as we move on to the top. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya. Really? Hathaway's Flash made it onto the list and Crossbone didn't? Well, with the Love Unicorn God in OVA form, does that mean it could be next? Anyway, more bright, always a good thing.